Hey friends and fans, Bob's Barn Workshop. Here we are, we're back. My old split rail fence along the sidewalk, I finally decided to pull it out. We got to decide whether we're putting new back in. But that's not the project today. I've got several projects around the shop to do today. One includes doing a steering repair on the lawn tractor. And if I got time, I'm going to do oh, by the way, the cherry tomatoes are coming along. I've got a repair to do on a self-propelled lawnmower, and you know, we've been working along on this engine build here. Now, you've only seen the first part of this, but actually the engine is already all built, and I actually cleaned out the bay ready for the engine to go in. I'm waiting for a part for the transmission. So again, I have to get this tractor fixed because I got to mow. The lawn is looking like a jungle. And for those who don't know me, my name is Bob, and you're gonna hopefully get to know me well, because I've just, you know, I don't specialize on anything. I'm just doing what I have to do around the house and yard. I separated out my electronics because that's kind of a separate niche, the retro electronics. But I'm working on this Mustang, I'm working on the house, I'm building my new Bob's Barn Workshop edition is coming along very well. I'll give you a quick tour here. Right now it looks like a giant carport, but I have my new 5 horsepower, my new old friend bought air compressor in there already because I needed to get it out of the trailer. I have a few more building supplies here to do the walls and sheathing. The doors are going in soon, and this is going to be the new, basically welding and metalworking and auto bay, because I'm putting in a car lift. Alright, let's get back to fixing the tractor. Now if you follow my channel, you may remember, I don't know, a year or so ago, 2 years ago maybe, I put these new Kenda tires on the back. They are absolutely awesome. They don't tear up the yard, but they have so much greater traction on wet grass. The tractor handles much better, steers much better. Of course, I got my permanent wheel weights on there. I just leave them because of the snowblower attachment. And you see me put trailer balls on my trailer and my lawn sweeper. The ball hook is so much easier than messing with that pin and all that. I have replaced the wheels and blades on the mower deck, which I have. I'm not going to change the blades until the end, till fall when I take it out though. And I did the front Kendas. Again, the same type tire on the front, steers much better. The problem today is these little steering links right here have worn out and are dropping apart. The one over here I got taped together with electrical tape. So to tighten the steering up, I bought new linkages, and I also bought a bearing kit for the wheels and the spindles. So we're going to replace this. There's actually a flat, kind of a thrust washer bearing that goes on the bottom. It makes the wheel turn so much easier, and sealed bearings to go into the wheels. So it's going to be a pretty cool project, and we just got to jack the front end up, and we'll get working on it. Okay, so we're going to start right here with this front tire. It's got a rubber sealant on here. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get him off yet. Get my good glasses on here. The axle swivels. There we go. There we go. Now let's see what we got in here. Dirt. At least the grease is good. I think that's just a C-clip. Yes, it is. A big one. So if you can see, there's a slot right here, or maybe not. I thought there was. Yeah, and you can get a screwdriver in there. This thing is kind of wonky, isn't it? Get up here. Here she comes. And where'd she go? Okay, she landed right there. That's good, because I need that. We're going to put that right up in the rubber cup on the top here. Now this is a, gosh, this ain't a new tractor. This is a GT 6000, garden tractor 6000, I would guess that means. I'm just stacking these washers up here. Now see, that's just a bushing. So what I've got is regular roller bearings that go in there. So I'm going to drive those out with a punch and hammer in the new ones later. But let's get this all the way apart. That looks like a 9/16, so let me go get some wrenches first. Alright, we're now going to take the spindle apart. And on the front of this, I got my shorty ratchet, but it's just too short. On the front of this is where this steering arm right here goes. And that's one of the ones that's bad. So 9/16 on top. I got my extendo ratchet here from Harbor Freight. And I've got my 9/16 to hold the bottom, which is 1/2 inch. I believe it's 1/2 inch. Yes. Okay, let me put this out this way. Put the wrench that way so it hits there. And now I've got a lever point. I believe these ball studs come new on the new shafts that I bought, so I won't have to, so that's just junk. Alright. I'm going to take that off the spindle while it's still laying up here. Again, if I can hook this on here somehow so it hits something. Maybe I just have to hold it. Oh, come on, bitch. Yeah, there she goes. I had these replaced once at the local rental street, Cedar Street Sales and Rentals over on Cedar Street in Batavia. Great place if you need equipment fixed or you need to rent a machine or something for just a single job you're never going to use again. You know, it's better off just to rent it, and then you don't have to store it or keep it or whatever. I kind of like this Harbor Freight ratchet. It's an extendo, gives you extra leverage when you need it. There we go. These have disrupted or disturbed threads on them, very fine threads, so that the nut does not vibrate loose. Alright, so now we're down to the spindle. Now how this spindle thing works is the bushing goes underneath. The bearing. And I'm going to have to look online. It's over a washer. It was very difficult to get it loose, believe it or not. So we're going to try to pry it off, just like that. Show me, Archimedes, where's the leverage? Well, my grease gun's been working. I didn't want to destroy that, so we'll put that on the top here. Again, this has another C-clip. And I can see there's not going to be a lot of play here. I might have to take my grinder and grind off the top of this spindle a little bit. There's a big flat washer up here. Okay, I can see that needs a small. Got that right off. And there she goes. Alright. Gooey. My grease gun worked. Okay, there's my top. I don't know what they call it, an E-clip or a C-clip or a G-clip or whatever kind of clip. Okay, so there's the spindle. It's in perfect shape. Tiny amount of rust, but none to worry about. There's more washers on here. I might be able to gain some space for this bearing. You do need a new washer on the bottom to act like a bearing race. But it's perfectly fine. I'm not going to do anything fancy to it. There's a little ridge of rust. I'm just pushing it off here. There. Alright, so greasy job. Should have wore gloves, but I can't ever. The gloves just rip on me. I don't know. If I was doing this right, I'd put a new. Alright, we're going to pause and get the kit. So I've got the spindle here, and I'm looking at it. So one of these washers has to go on. There's your bearing, and another washer. Okay, that's the wear part. Let's see if I got enough. See, I gotta put another washer and the C-clip on here, and as I saw another guy do this, it's too tight. You know, you got your bearings here, but all I really need is one at the top. I don't need a bearing up here. I just need it on the bottom where the weight is. Boy, is that nice. But it's too short, so what I've got to do is I've got to get my grinder, and I need to grind off some of this casting right here to make this a little shorter. And that shouldn't take long, but I just got to go get my grinder. So stick with me, I'll be back. So I'm moving back a bit here because I don't want you to get I've done that before. It ain't pretty. Gotta run my cord out here. Actually, I'm gonna move you over here because what I'm doing is starting to shorten the top of that right there just to make it shallower or shorter inside so I can fit my bearing. I saw this guy do it on another one on YouTube. So I'm not the first. Get that out of the way, that'll be on fire. Okay. So I've got pretty close. All I need to do is fit one washer in my e-clip. And that looks like a winner to me, because that just keeps it from falling out. All the weight pushes up. You know, that doesn't really take any load at all. So let's see. Oh, it's got a bigger washer on top. Oh, no, it's going to fit right on. Good. And we're just going to push that clip. On like so. She's a little tight. So I'm going to take a little more off. Now I want to push a rag down through that hole, or up through, whatever way. There's another bearing thing. I'm going to grease them up before I put it in. I'm going to push this up through, kind of like cleaning your rifle. Push the grindings out. There we go. Well, I'm pretty confident I got all I needed out, because it was fitting before and I just want to take a little more off. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be real fancy about this. I got my, let's get in here a little closer now. I got my spindle. And I got my bearing. I got my old bearing grease. It's like 40 years old, 50 years old, but it's good stuff. I'm going to take, I know my hand should be much cleaner. I'm going to take this flat bearing. I'm going to take my axle grease, bearing grease. I'm just going to grease both sides. Okay. I've already got the washer, the new washer on the bottom of the spindle here. This guy sits on there. Got my other new washer. Go right on top. I'm going to put a little slicker on the axle shaft. Shove her up through. And now this gets the small washer and the big washer on the top. Watch the instructions, so I don't know if this is right. There we go, look at that. No friction whatsoever. As I said, the top just retains the cap. And I have the gazerk fitting, so I can gazerk it. Now it gave me new caps. Should I use them? I guess I should. Why not? And that went on just as slick as anything. Keeps the dirt out. That's how you do one spindle. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I guess you probably don't need to watch that. What I'm going to do is replace these push rods. So that's what this replacement rod looks like. And it's a good thing I didn't throw anything away, because it did not come with the locking nuts. So I have to find the nut. There's one. And these are already pre-lubed and everything. They've got little rubber boots on here. So that guy's going to go right in there and tighten up. And he's going to go right in here and tighten up. I just got to find the other nut. What did I do with that? Oh, there it is. I don't know if it's already off there. And that needs a lock nut too. Lock washer. I thought I put them aside here somewhere. Let me find them. Yeah, okay, found my other nut. Tough when you lose a nut. So you won't be able to see this one because it's behind the spindle, but it's the same thing. We just got to tighten these up good. There we go. Again, those are disrupted threads, so they're going to take some muscling to get them on. It's going to be a long crank, she said. I'm using my thumb to hold the anti-spin thing of the ratchet. I'll speed this up. You'll see my ratchet go really fast. How about if I just let him rest it against there? There we go. This is just going to tighten the whole steering assembly up too. Okay, we got the same thing. I'm going to put this on behind this one. And let it rest on it there. Now the two front shorties are identical. These guys had them like 47,000 foot-pounds, but I don't think they need to be that tight. Alright. So that's that one. This next one's going to be a bitch because she's up inside, up here. And maybe I can drop the deck. Oh baby, that sucks. That's not going to be fun. Well, maybe I won't change that one today. Just the one that's broke. Okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, that's my plan. So let's blow these bearings out of these tires so I can put the new ones in. And all there is to that, make sure you're on camera here, which you're not. I'm just going to take one of my extensions, put it in there against that, pop it out, and that just, oh, didn't drop out. I thought it dropped out. Oh, they are long sleeves. Okay. It's got a catch right there. Okay. Bushing one. Again, They're just bushings. And you turn it over. Now you can get to the edge of that easier. And out comes that bushing. Bushy, bushy. Now, reinstalling. Now I think these are sealed bearings. So I probably shouldn't need any bearing grease in here at all. Sticky. Whoop, there they go. Yes, these are sealed bearings. I can feel they're greased. And they just fit on just like that. And now I've got to go find a large socket that I can drive them with. So I've got a large socket. Just fits the outer rim of the bearing, so it's not driving on the bearings surfaces. You can hear the sound when it hits bottom. Again, set them in there as square as you can. Now I've got my fingers over the edge of this, so I can feel that it's going in square and actually going in. Again, I'm driving on the rim of the bearing, not on the... Alright, so now if you look at the spindle, you'll see that it has a big washer in this plastic cup. So I think I'm going to put a big washer. Will it fit over that? No, it does not. Does it fit over that? No, it does not. We're just going to have to see how the depth fits. I'm going to put one of these on, the thin. I'm going to put the... She's going, she's tight. I got to get a block of wood. There she goes. I should have sanded that spindle, I guess, because now she's stuck. Swirl. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to take my block of wood. That won't reach. Smaller block of wood. I got to drive it off, and I got to run some sandpaper on this shaft. Alright, I got some plumber's sandpaper here, you know, the stuff in the strip. I'm just going to get the paint off, I guess. There does seem to be a lot of paint on it. Could be corrosion. It only takes a few thousandths, you know. Alright, now I'm going to be smart, and I'm not going to use the bearing that's on the wheel. I'm going to try it with another bearing. Okay, we're good. I'm going to put one on the back. Okay, so I'm going to take this back off and show you. The UPS guy showed up, so I turned you off. But after I sanded that, she slipped right on. As I said, I put one of the thin washers first. And slid it all the way on, and I got enough room. I'm going to put a small washer on first, and then a large washer, and it looks like I got just enough room for my E-clip. C-clip, B-clip. Whatever kind of clip it is. And that should give me just about the right spacing. Looks like I got just a little splay, but that's okay because they're on sealed bearings now. Let's see if I can... That's not big enough. If I can hook the top of that with my pliers. And slide them right on. There we go. Alright. And then this guy goes back on. That's always a pain. I got little hookies. The hookers. We still running here? Yeah, we are. Okay, so I'm going to try to hook this guy up onto the top here. And that's going to be a problem. Because it's a bitch. Come on, get under there. Well, I'm going to try the new one and see if it's bendier. They gave me a new one up here. Let's see if this has got more flex to it. Yes. This one will definitely go on. And I won't have to frig with it. There we go. So I'm going to take this one off the top of here and use it on the other. I'm going to show you something else that I decided to do. I pulled this back off the left-hand side of this. These rubber boots are really flexible. So what I did is I peeled them right up and off. And I got my old jug of grease. And I poked it down in there and wiggled it around. Poked it down and wiggled it around a little bit. Did a little hully gully. Turn the ball. Get her wiggling around down there good. Just a little bit more rust prevention. And with all this grease underneath this boot, you would think that it would help keep water out. So that's just one little hint that I did. I did it on the other one as I was just, so I had to pull this one back off. But now she's full of grease down there, as good as I can get it. So flip the boot up and off. And this probably, you can get this probably the same kind of joint as on a lot of tractors. It's just a little ball joint thingy. Pull up that boot as good as you can. Poke the grease up in there. Wiggle the ball. Spin it. Put a little more in there. That's all I'm doing. Just giving it one more layer of, maybe I can make this last a little longer, not rust out and fall apart. So that's all there is to that. Everything's all greasy, including my hands and my tools, but then that little rubber boot kind of squeezes down on it. Alright, greasy. So I'm just tightening these back up and this job will be done. I got the other side all done without issue. And we'll just let that turn and hit something. I got to tighten it. Alright, that's that. Is that German? And I'm going to swing this one around here. You can't see me, of course. Maybe you can. And I'm just sticking the wrench behind something that it can hook, and so I don't have to hold it while I torque it. Hand torque it. Elbow torque, I call it. Put some little elbow torque on that. Alright. That ain't never coming apart. And slide the wrench out. Alright, this tractor is done for what I was going to do to it now. It's got new, quote, non-power power steering on the front with bearings, and let's give her a test drive in just a minute. Alright, let's see how this baby works. I do notice is the tires on the front are a little pigeon-toed. Maybe pigeon-toed is pointing together. These are spread eagle then, whatever. But I think that is designed in to try to create a better Ackerman steering, so when you're doing a tight turn to the left or the right, the inside tire has to turn a lot more than the outside tire. So, I mean, there's just no correction for this. These rods are all the same length. there's really nothing I could do to change it, let alone moving these idler arms farther out. But I mean, it cuts it, steers. So that's it for the tractor right now, guys. Let's move on to that lawnmower.